Uh-huh.
Friend.
Sorry. So, okay. Well, welcome everyone to Fast for Hunger. In this movement, we try to send our love to those who are hungry, and specifically our neighbors, and to be with them in this meditation and send all our love, not only in our intentions, but also in actions. So thank you for being here. And instead of eating, we will meditate today. For some of you is the evening, for others is the morning, others is noon. So skip any meal you want, or if you're not fasting today, you can fast tomorrow. And we want to welcome Earl. Earl Burney, he's a senior teacher and a curriculum developer for YSI, Yoga Studies Institute. And personally, I admire him so much because his innovation, his compassion, and his honesty is just fearless. And ever since he completed a 3-year silent retreat at Diamond Mountain, he has kept an impeccable meditation practice. So please join me in welcoming Earl Burney. Now let me spotlight him for everyone. Welcome, Earl.
Thanks, Sophie. Okay. Hey, Katerina, you're in charge. You know your role. Slow down when I get carried away. Thank you for joining. Thank you for hosting, Sophia. I want to thank the translators. And I want us all to give ourselves a big pat on the back. And give ourselves a little bit of love for taking the time, to do something that I think is very meaningful. This is one of the projects that I'm most proud of. I think it's one of the coolest things we do at YSI. I'll talk for a little bit, and then I'll lead my favorite meditation. So I was reflecting on Fast for Hunger today, and I was thinking I grew up having 3 meals a day. And my mom loved to cook. She loves cooking. And we, as a family, we ate at 8 o'clock, we ate at noon, and we ate at 6, like exactly 8, noon, 6. And I never missed a meal, unless by choice. In fact, I got in trouble if I wasn't home for a meal. So it feels kind of hypocritical for me to talk about fasting or being hungry, or that's never been my reality. I live in a world where people die from eating too much food, a culture that throws away food. I've never been part of a culture that doesn't have enough. So how do I relate to this day, or how do I expand my compassion? That was what I was thinking today. And I was remembering back to a point in my life that I had a lot of back pain. I had nerve pain in my back for a year. And by the end of that year, I couldn't walk. And the pain just got worse and worse. And I started to notice how many other people had back pain. And I started to notice how many back pain clinics there are. Like a very specific place that people go to only for people with back pain. And they were all over the city that I lived in. And I started to have a lot more compassion for people with pain. And so I think in a small way, by fasting or by skipping a meal, it gives us an opportunity to feel that compassion for people that don't have that choice. You know, I have the choice to overeat every meal, but if I skip a meal, then I have an opportunity to have compassion in a more visceral way for people. So that's one way I think that we can expand our compassion. And then the second way is meditation and developing compassion through meditation. And so, you know, we'll combine those two methods today. Some of us will skip a meal. Some of us will fast for the day. But let's also try to develop compassion in meditation. And we'll do it through, I think, what is my favorite meditation Geshe Michael ever taught. I call it Edge of Kindness. And this was something he taught in the Quiet Retreat teachings when he was in 3-year retreat. And he held up a leaf like that. And he said, we were outside, and he said, look at the edge of the leaf, find the edge of the leaf. And behind the leaf was a blue sky. So pretend there's a blue sky behind the leaf.
Estoy en clase, pues.
And he said, you know, find the very edge where the green meets the blue, or in this case, where the green meets the white. Find the edge. Does that edge have thickness? It must have thickness. We couldn't see a line that didn't have thickness, right? So then there must be a part of the edge that's closer to the outside and a part of the edge that's closer to the inside of the leaf. A part of the edge that's closer to the blue, or part of the edge that's closer to the green. So find the real edge, the outer edge. You know, where the green really meets the white behind me. Well, does that line have thickness? It must, or we wouldn't be able to see it. We can't see a line with no thickness. So then if something has thickness, there must be a outer part and an inner part. So go to the outer part, the real edge, you know, where the green really meets the white. Find that edge. Oh, well, that must have thickness too. So find the outer edge. And we quickly see that there's no such thing. That edge is an idea. The edge of things is a mental image created by our mind. And we can't actually ever definitively find an edge when we go looking for it. And so where's the edge of our kindness? And that's this meditation. So find yourself in a meditation posture. And take a journey with me to find the edge of our kindness. can take a last stretch, get rid of any last need for movement, maybe the last sip of water. Inhale, exhale, let go. And then happily be present in the present. Can be eyes closed or eyes slightly open. Be aware of your surroundings. And then settle on the sensation of breath. Stilling the body to still the mind. And we'll begin by thinking how often it's quite easy to be kind to ourselves. We eat the food that we love, the food that tastes good. We celebrate with food, or we indulge in food. And we're kind to our mouth. We put the food in our mouth that we like, that tastes good. Our kindness extends to our taste buds. But sometimes we eat too fast or we eat too much. Or we choose the food that's not good for our body. Our kindness doesn't extend past our mouth. We're kind to our mouth, but unkind to our body. The edge of our kindness is very limited. How far can our kindness go? Where's the edge of our kindness? Sometimes we maybe smoke cigarettes or drink alcohol or things we know are bad for us. Sometimes, though, we're kind to our whole body. Eat the right foods, get the right sleep, exercise, do yoga, meditate. We can expand the edge of our kindness to our whole body. But that kindness doesn't go beyond our skin. It's hard enough to look after me. Other people need to look after themselves. I can't do it for them. How far does your kindness go? Well, my kindness goes beyond my skin. I'm kind to the people that I live under the same roof with, or the people I share a bed with. I want them to have nice things. I want them to have good food. I'm willing to expand the edge of my kindness to those people. Well, what about if our neighbor was hungry? Would we share food with our neighbor? Of course. If my neighbor didn't have food, of course I would share. My kindness goes that far. I'm not a monster. Of course I would share. They're my neighbor. Well, what if they lived across the street? What if they lived on the other side of the city? Where's the edge of our kindness? What if they were in another country? How far does your kindness go? These are the days where everyone is connected on the internet. We can't pretend that people aren't suffering just because we don't see them. When we walk outside our house, how far does your kindness go? What if there was a car accident outside of your house? Would you run and would you help? Of course. Of course, I would help somebody in an accident. What if they were very short? Would you still help someone if they were small? How far does your kindness go? Size doesn't matter. I would help somebody short, somebody small. How small? Why do we lose compassion then for mosquitoes or bugs that come into our house? The flies that bother us or the cockroaches? What if the person in the car, what if they only had one arm? What if they were missing an arm? What if they were missing a leg? Would you help? Of course I would help. Number of legs doesn't matter. then why do we treat beings with 4 legs so poorly? Wearing their skin for our clothing, eating them unnecessarily. How far does our kindness go? If I come home one night and order a pizza, I don't eat the whole thing. I save some pizza for me tomorrow, because I know I'll be hungry tomorrow. We can extend our kindness to the future. But we steal from the future by being in a culture that overuses the resources. Instead of making sure that people in the future have enough. How far does our kindness go? It feels like too much. What? I'm just one person. I'm just a normal person. Gandhi couldn't stop the wars. Mother Teresa couldn't feed everybody. Those beings were great saints. What do you want me to do? Those people were great, not because they solved hunger, not because they ended war. They were great because they erased the edge of their kindness. Their kindness was unlimited. There was no edge. The edge of our kindness is an idea. There's no such thing as the edge of our kindness. Take a moment and think of how we can erase that edge. Where in our life can we extend out? How can we go beyond our current capacity? Imagine for a moment what it'd be like to be a person that had no edge to their kindness. Try to feel that expansiveness, that power, fearlessness. We have that capacity, everyone, each of us. Try to hold on to that feeling as we leave the meditation and come back to the space. And take a stretch out into that limitless, edgeless expansion. The meditation can feel, for me, sometimes depressing or sometimes scary, but mostly empowering. When I do it right, it's should feel empowering, encouraging. So thank you for meditating. We just have a few more minutes. I'd like to encourage people as part of the Fast for Hunger to, I tend to donate the money that I save by fasting to a local charity. I live in New York and there's many, many organizations. So I tend to choose one very close to my home. But there's many options, and I'd like to ask Sophia to talk about one of the ones that we support as YSI, that everyone is welcome to support also. So thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Sophia, for asking me to come and share meditation.
Wow, thank you, Earl. I think all of us felt like at some points we could float just by removing this mental limit, and expanding our love. Thank you so much. And yes, I want to share about a project which is happening, a movement in Guadalajara, where volunteers come together on a monthly basis to prepare and deliver healthy lunches. Let me just share a quick 1-minute video about this beautiful project. And it's called Amor. And the idea is that we prepare these lunches, healthy lunches, and serve it to very vulnerable people. For instance, we have visited hospitals where the relatives of the sick people have been waiting for days, sometimes even months in the streets, because they come from faraway towns to this big hospital, one of the oldest in the country. We have also served lunches to migrants and to single moms at single moms neighborhoods, where most of them were kids who came to eat, and they have a very precarious diet. So it's very beautiful. And we try to set up an intention that like we're feeding all the hungry people in the world while we're doing this. And it's very beautiful. So if you don't have a local project, a hungry relief organization, or you feel connected to this project, maybe you want to support this Damor project for this time. We're having our next service this Saturday, 22nd, July 22nd. So yeah, thank you for letting us present and share about this project, Earl. And to wrap up this session, we want to invite you to take this love, this compassion into action. And here's how you can do it. I'm gonna share right now in the chat the link to a form where we please ask you to report if you were fasting. And don't worry if you're not, if you're eating, please enjoy your meal and dedicate it so everyone could have such a delicious meal. don't stress about it. But if you do our fasting, we would love to map that out so we can know how many of us are fasting with this intention of sending our love. And ideally, also report if you can donate the money that you didn't spend because you're not eating on helping a hunger relief organization. And finally, we invite you to join the next meditation, fast and meditation event, which will be happening on August 16th at noon in New York time. And thank you so much, Earl. Thank you, translators, and all the volunteers who made this event possible. And thank you, all of you, for joining us today. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, evening, everyone.
Thanks, Sophie. Thank you, translators.
Thank you.